Hermes Agent has been blowing up on GitHub with over 120,000 stars already. This is basically a competitor to OpenClaw, and in my experience, it's better in many ways. Hermes is an agent that actually learns from you and is able to create and install its own skills and get smarter over time. To some extent, this is something that OpenClaw can do itself, but depending on how the memory files were set up, OpenClaw can actually get worse over time. In this video, I'll show you how to set up Hermes Agent from scratch. By the end, you'll have your own self-improving AI assistant that's running 24/7. We'll also go through all the must-have features, like the ability to install and create skills, setting up cron jobs that run on a schedule, and things like browser support, text-to-speech, and speech-to-text. There's a lot to go over, so let's dive in. Now, the first thing you need to do is to install Hermes on a machine. Now, if you are using your local machine, you can simply go to this installations page, go to this quick install section, and then copy the command for your operating system. So if you are using Linux or Mac, you'll copy this command. Now, for Windows, you will need to use WSL. But honestly, as with OpenClaw, I would not recommend running these assistants on your local machine. Keep in mind that these agents are really powerful. They're able to make changes to your file system, they can execute commands, and some of these could be breaking changes. So I highly recommend installing this assistant on a virtual private server. This means Hermes will be running on its own isolated machine. You can use any VPS you want. Personally, I like to use Hostinger, and yes, they are a sponsor of this channel, but I've been using Hostinger long before they were a sponsor. I teamed up with Hostinger to give you guys an additional discount. So all you have to do is go to this URL, I'll link to it in the description as well. From here, you can select your VPS plan, then we can click on deploy. From here, you can select your term from 1 month, 12 months, or 24 months. Then when you scroll down, you can change your region. I'll select United States. Then before you go to checkout, click on coupon code. And if you enter the code Leon Hermes, you will get an additional 10% off. Then we can simply continue to checkout. On this screen, you have to set an admin username and an admin password. Then let's click on deploy. And the setup process will just take a few minutes. Alright, once the setup is complete, you should be redirected to this Docker Manager page with these Docker projects. If not, you can just click on Docker Manager, Projects, and that will take you to this page. What we're looking for is this open link. Let's click on that. And this is asking us for that username and password that we set earlier. Now, if you ever forget what those details are, what you have to do is go to Manage, then scroll down to Environment, and now you can simply view and copy those values. So I'm going to do that off camera. Now I do want to mention that you do not want to share those details with anyone else, because anyone with that username and password will be able to access your Hermes instance, so please don't leak that information. Right, cool. So from this page, we've got the option of doing a quick setup or full setup. Let's just go with the recommended option, which is quick setup. Hermes has support for a lot of different providers, as you can see over here. Now, when it comes to selecting a provider, you typically have two options. Either you can pay for this using your subscription. So if you already have a Claude Code subscription or a ChatGPT subscription, you can use Hermes as part of those subscriptions. Alternatively, you can provide an API key, and that's kind of a pay-as-you-go option, where you will be billed based on your usage. Now, I personally recommend using a subscription, as that will be way cheaper. Now, unfortunately, Anthropic, although they say here that it supports Claude Code, I actually won't trust Anthropic with this. Because if you don't know, OpenClaw also supported the Claude Code subscription, and now users are being banned by Anthropic. Unfortunately, Anthropic doesn't like users using their subscriptions to pay for these external systems or solutions. So with that said, I'm going to use my OpenAI subscription. So if you have a ChatGPT subscription, you can select this option. All right, let's open this link. So I do get this message saying that you have to enable code authorization for Codex by clicking on this link. And when I click on that link, I'll just scroll down to the bottom and enable this toggle. Okay, cool. Let's go back to this page. Then I'll just open this URL again. And now we're able to continue. Then let's enter that code and continue. And now we're signed into Codex. Cool. So that just took us back to this terminal. And now we can select our model. GPT 5.5 was just released, so I'll just select that model. Now we need to connect Hermes to a messaging platform. Now, this is really cool. Hermes supports a lot of different gateways. So there's Telegram, Discord, Slack, WhatsApp, Signal, email, SMS. There really is a lot of different integrations here, and they seem to be constantly adding new ones. Now, I'm using Telegram at the minute with OpenClaw, so I do want to use Telegram for this again. Now, this is really important. Do not press enter on the screen. You can select the channels that you want to set up by pressing spacebar, and you can set up multiple channels at this point. Now, I'm just going to enable Telegram, so I'm going to press enter. Now, all we have to do is set up a new bot in BotFather and then pass in the access token. Now, this is really easy to set up. You can use Telegram on your phone or the desktop app or the web app, it doesn't matter. In contacts, simply search for BotFather. Then what we have to do is run the command /new bot. This will allow us to create a new bot with BotFather. So first let's give it a name. I'll just call mine Hermes Assistant. And now we have to set a username. So this is typically all lowercase and underscores. I'll just call mine Leon Hermes Assistant _ bot. And this is important. Your bot name must end with the word bot. Let's send this. Now we can copy this access token. Then back in the terminal, let's paste in that value. Now, this is really important. We need to specify the list of users that are allowed to communicate with this bot. We don't want anyone in the public space to randomly find our bot and send messages to it. But we might want to give access to this bot to our friends or family or partners or whatever. So in your contacts, simply search for this @userinfobot. Then just send it a message. Cool. Then I'm just going to copy this ID. And let's paste it into the chat. And if you want to add more than one ID, simply add a comma and then paste in the other ID. So I'll just say yes to use that ID as the home channel. Right, so the agent was installed and we can see some of the tools that are already available, like vision and browser automation. Text-to-speech is already there. And then some of these were not set up yet. So if we wanted to, we could actually optionally just go and get these API keys, give it to the agent, and then these features should work as well. We could also run these commands if we wanted to rerun the full setup wizard or change the model, configure the tools, etc. But I think for now, we should be cool. So under launch Hermes chat now, let's say yes. All right, now welcome to Hermes Agent. We can see all the available skills for this agent. And of course, we can get the agent to create new skills and we can install new skills as well. Either way, let's see if this works by saying, hey. Right, we get a response back. So the provider and model was correctly set up. In order to access this agent through Telegram, if we go back to BotFather, we can simply click on this assistant's name. We start a new chat. Alright, so by the way, I noticed that when I send a message to the agent over Telegram, nothing actually happens. So I simply went back to Hermes and I said, when I send a message over Telegram, nothing happens. Let's see if Hermes is able to fix this issue itself. And that's really cool. I just received a message from our agent. So let's see if this is working now. Hey, how are you? Let's send this. The agent is currently typing. Cool. So this integration is working. Fantastic. And if you were curious, what happened was the Hermes gateway wasn't actually running. So if you run into that issue, simply ask the agent to resolve it itself. Now, the first thing I want to do is to give our agent access to a browser. Without web access, these agents are pretty much useless. So there are many different platforms that are supported by Hermes. So it supports browser base, browser use, Firecrawl, Camoufox, local Chrome, and local browser mode. So before we install anything, I just want to make sure that Hermes actually has access to a browser. Yes, I can use a web browser when needed, open pages, click around, fill forms, inspect pages, take screenshots, and analyze images on the page. Well, I'm not so sure about that, so I'm actually going to copy this listing. And let's say, well, let's see if that's true. List the price and features of this listing. And let's send that. All right, it's calling some browser tool. This is really interesting. It's taking a browser snapshot. I do like how Hermes is actually showing the tool calls. This is something that OpenClaw didn't do. And indeed, it was able to retrieve that information. So there's actually no need to install anything specifically. Amazon is actually a really difficult site to scrape. So I guess this is sorted. Sometimes what I like to do, especially while I'm on the move, is just send voice messages to the agent. So let's see if this actually supports speech to text. Do you have speech to text capabilities? Yes, if you send me a voice note or audio file, I can transcribe it and then help with whatever you need, summarize it and extract tasks. Alright, well, let's actually give that a spin. Hey there, it's nice to finally meet you. Let's see if you're able to extract the text from this message. How are you able to process this audio file? What model are you using? Okay, then let's send this. The agent is typing. Yes, I can extract the text. Your voice message said, hey there, it's nice to finally meet you. That's perfect. How it works. Telegram provides the audio voice note to the assistant platform, and the platform gives me access to its transcribed text representation. I can then reason over that transcript, summarize it, translate it, extract actions, etc. So on this page, if we go to, well, what we're interested in is speech to text. Voice messages sent on Telegram, Discord, WhatsApp, Slack, or Signal are automatically transcribed and injected as text into the conversation. The agent sees the transcript as normal text. And Hermes seems to be using local Whisper as the default provider, which is free. That's something I really appreciate, because with OpenClaw, I actually had to install Whisper or set up Whisper and the OpenAI API, which actually cost money. Either way, speech to text is free, but if you want, you can definitely set up other solutions as well, like OpenAI's Whisper API. Now, what about speech to text? If you have a look at the speech to text docs, it uses Edge text-to-speech as the default model, which is free. Well, let's see if that's true. Do you have text-to-speech? Yes, I have text-to-speech. I can turn text into audio or voice messages. Alright, let's try that. Please send me a voice message. And within like 2 seconds, we've got this message.
Hey Leon, this is a test voice message from Hermes. Looks like text-to-speech is working.
That is really cool, and it's completely free. I'm super blown away by this. So what I'm actually going to do is swap this voice out for something else. And so in ElevenLabs, I've just signed into my account and I've gone to voices and we can go to conversational. Here are many different voices to choose from and they sound way more natural than the free model. Right, so let's go with Elise. I'm just going to copy this voice ID. For text-to-speech, do you have support for ElevenLabs? I do have text-to-speech support, but in this current chat, the voice message I generated used the Edge provider, not ElevenLabs. I don't appear to have direct control here to choose ElevenLabs for that specific text-to-speech call. The tool says the speech provider are user configured. So if ElevenLabs is configured as the text-to-speech provider for this environment, I could use it. But from the last generation, this was Edge. All right, let's ask it. Are you able to set the provider to ElevenLabs? Yes, it looks like I can set it in the local Hermes config. ElevenLabs is already present as an option. So the change would be to set the provider, caveat, I don't have the ElevenLabs API key. All right, so let's do this then. Set the provider to ElevenLabs. For the voice ID, use that ID that we copied earlier. Here is the API key. I'll just call this Hermes. So then let's send it the key and let's go. Alright, so I have been having issues getting a voice to work because none of these are available on the free plan on ElevenLabs. So as a Hail Mary, I actually asked Claude to help me out and it suggested that we actually run this. So apparently this API will return all the free available voices. So I'm just going to say, please use this API to retrieve any free voices. Free default voices returned. Let's go with Bella then, the very first one. Go with Bella. And that seemed to work. Let's play this.
Hi Leon, this is Bella from ElevenLabs. Text-to-speech is now working with the selected voice.
And cool, so although it's a free voice, I still think it sounds better than the Edge voice that comes default with Hermes. So let's move on to skills. Hermes actually comes with a lot of different skills out of the box. And they also have this skills hub where you can search and install skills. It even has a dedicated Claude Code skill, which you can use to delegate coding tasks to Claude Code. So if you want, I can always create a dedicated video showing you how you can use Hermes as a coding agent. And on that note, if you are enjoying this video, consider hitting the subscribe button. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers, and every subscriber is appreciated. So let's actually start by asking our agent, what skills do you have available right now? There's actually 77 skills available to the agent right now. It's got skills for autonomous AI agents like Claude Code, Codex, Hermes Agent, and OpenCode. It's got creative skills like architecture diagrams, ASCII art. It's got skills for data science, DevOps, email, gaming, GitHub, leisure, and a lot more. This is actually really extensive. Let's ask it, are you able to find and install skills? For finding skills, I can search the local skills installed here. I can look through the Hermes repo or docs if there are bundled or optional skills, and I can use a web browser. So that's not quite what we want, but let's say we wanted to install a skill like this meme generation skill. Please install the meme generation skill. So now it's actually searching through its own skills repository, which is that hub. And done, it just installed that skill. So this agent always has access to that skills repository. So if you wanted to install anything from there, just ask the agent to do so. Alright, so let's do something silly. I'll just grab this image. Let's add it to the chat. Use the meme generation skill to add the text. Mondays, right? Alright, then let's send this. And done. It just used that skill to create this meme. Right, you can also ask the agent to create new skills. So let's do this. And you'll also notice during the conversation that the agent keeps updating these memory files. So this is the thing about Hermes. It's constantly learning and improving as we're continuing. Let's ask it to create a skill. Alright, so I want you to create a new skill. I have a YouTube channel called Leon Van Sale. We currently have 95,000 subscribers, and this is a channel where I teach people how to use AI tools to build solutions and improve productivity. What I want this skill to do is to help me come up with title ideas for video ideas. Titles need to be at most 50 characters long. They need to include one power word, and it should include the most important keyword based on the topic. I always want you to create 5 titles that are search-based, 5 titles that target browse, and 5 titles that are hybrid. Right, let's keep it simple. Let's send this. We just want to see if the agent is actually able to create its own skills. And of course, the agent is updating the memory, so it now knows that I have a YouTube channel. And it's calling this skill manage tool to create our new skill. Done, I just created and verified the new skill. Alright, let's try it. Please use your new YouTube skill to create titles for the following video idea. The video is a tutorial on setting up and using Hermes Agent. And you know what, just to really challenge this agent, let's also pass a link to the actual Hermes website. Indeed, it's calling up the skill and it's using the browser to navigate to this website. And there we go. Based on our skill, it's now giving us 5 search-based titles, 5 browse-based titles, and hybrid titles. Now finally, we can also set up recurring tasks, or cron jobs. So let's say, hey, please remind me in 5 minutes to revoke my ElevenLabs API key. Alright then, let's send this. Hermes should now schedule a job that will run in 5 minutes to send me this reminder. But we can also use this to set up recurring tasks like maybe every day at 9 a.m., go online, do some research, and send me a full report. As you can see, just call this cron job create tool, and now it's set up a job to remind me in 5 minutes. So I'll just wait 5 minutes and see if we get that notification. And just like that, let's have a look. It's been exactly 5 minutes, and there we go. We just got our reminder about the ElevenLabs API key. So far, I'm really impressed with Hermes, and I do want to explore its coding capabilities. So let me know in the comments if I should create another video on this, where I show you how you can use Hermes to write code locally, and deploy the projects to something like Vercel automatically. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.